Alright, what is going on 5-9 Gaming? Ryuden here. Today, myself as well as the other content creators featured on this video are going to be taking a look at the potential LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku Zenkai Awakening kits that you guys have come up with. I'm really excited for this one here just because it gives an opportunity for you guys to show your creativity, see what kind of things you can come up with, and we get to see how accurate you are once LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku does get his Zenkai Awakening. So for myself, I went ahead and chose the submission by Defiction DT, not to be confused with The Truth DT, the homie over there. But real quick, before we go into it, if you guys enjoy us going over your potential kits, or you want to see some future ones, because you never know when another unit is going to be getting a Zenkai Awakening, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, tune in, look forward to any other potential units that get a Zenkai Awakening, because we love seeing your creativity. I'm sure there's going to be another submission within the coming weeks about another potential unit getting a Zenkai Awakening, so be on the lookout for those. Now, we're going to jump right into it here. So starting out with the Zenkai ability. As you may know, LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a Saiyan and he is green type, so it comes to no surprise that his Zenkai ability is going to be buffing up green plus Saiyan units. 35% to strike, 35% to strike defense, strike attack, 40% to blast attack, and 40% to blast defense. Makes sense, he's a range type unit, understandably so that we're going to be focusing more on blast over here. His new stats maxed out is 2.7 mil HP, 256 for his strike attack, blast attack hitting 300k. That is a extremely high number, absolutely high. Strike defense and blast defense hitting near the 190s. I think for offensive Zenkai Awakened units, bordering near 190s isn't really the case. I think for a lot of them, they're in the mid 180s, so it looks like you gave the boy a little bit of extra defense here. And the real cool part about this whole thing is, remember, LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku has a reduced damage received that cannot be canceled. So when you take that kind of thing and accompany it with him having really high defenses, that little 20% turns into quite a bit of bulk. So looks like you already started out this guy strong. He may only have 40% extra damage inflicted as his only passive, but with 300k blast attack, even that can look impressive. So, new main ability, draw the ultimate arts card Super Spirit Bomb. Understandably so, always get his ultimate. Restore ally health by 30% and ki by 30. Okay, look at that. 30% healing, 30% ki. I believe right now it's 20% for both. I know for ki it's definitely 20%. Nullify own attribute unfavorable element factors for 20 timer counts. That's absolutely significant. As it stands right now, he goes type neutral for 3 timer counts, which is only enough time for you to get the main ability without worrying about type disadvantage and potentially one quick blue card after the ultimate. But with 20 timer counts, you can work up quite a bit of a combo and go with a strong finish being his ultimate. After that, he gains attribute upgrade minus 59% to enemy sustained damage cut effects for 59 timer counts, plus 420% to become swag. What? I like this. I like the 5-9 right here. I love it when they do this play on numbers, because remember, the LR Angel Vegeta in Dokkan also has something similar, where they have the 5-9 for, I believe it's attack, and 7-8 for defense, something along those lines. The play on numbers, this has a similar pronunciation to Goku, which is really damn cool. Although this part right here is that's an ultra rare additional passive that will be exclusive to only this character, so I like the exclusivity. I'm pretty sure everyone else is at 0% except for the Super Saiyan 3 characters. All of them are at 333%, but LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku at 420% makes sense to me. Now, what changes would you make to the arts cards? So his blue card, major impact damage. I'm pretty sure his multiplier is already major, so unfortunately his blue card doesn't get a buff. Reduce enemy ki by 50 on hit, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Okay, not bad. Not bad whatsoever. I think I would have preferred this to grow. I think for a blue card, I think you are making a bit of a big risk, so you should be rewarded with a higher multiplier. So I would prefer if this went up. I don't mind the damage inflicted buff. That makes sense. Hopefully it's upon activation and not when landing the card. Green card. Counter will activate upon enemy blast and strike arts attack while in fighting pose. Restore an O ki by 40. and randomly destroy 2 enemies' cards when successfully countered. Restore Vanish Gauge by 100%, activates 3 times. That is going to translate to a lot of passive play, but that also is extremely strong. I think if they were to do something like this, like the restoring the Vanish Gauge by 100% right here, and it works for both Strike and Blast cards, that would be probably the best green card in the game, because the only other unit I could think of that's similar to this is Launch. But Launch's requirement is she's the last unit in the game, so that's a pretty heavy restriction for such a strong passive. Having your Vanish restore 100% 3 times, super strong. I like it. I think he deserves it. And being able to combo to a blue card, blast card, strike card, ultimate just makes sense. He has one of the worst green cards in the game. It's hard to trigger and it can't be chained with many things, so I like that. That makes sense. This is OP as hell, but I'm all for it. Oh, sure, why not? His ultimate card, deal massive explode damage. I'm pretty sure it's already massive explode, so no higher multiplier. I think Supreme is the only other higher multiplier from there, so maybe they could have gave him Supreme. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. Plus 59% to ultimate damage inflicted for 5 timer counts. I like that. Another play on numbers. I love it when this kind of thing happens. It's really cool. It's just like that little extra, like, you know, little sprinkling of creativity to things, you know, tying into that specific moment. Nullify enemies' health, restore health when it reaches 0 effect. So we basically cut out endurance for 9 timer counts. That's pretty interesting. I like that. He chose 9 specifically just because, you know, 5 timer counts here, 9 timer counts here. Who knows? Maybe it really could. If you're quick enough and your opponent has multiple endurance units, which I'm pretty sure Regen tends to have, then sure, why not? Why not? Now, his first unique, he will change from his traditional 40% to damage inflicted to 59. Okay, makes sense. I like it. Another 59 there. Applies the following effects. Once 25 timer counts have elapsed from the battle start, he heals 15%, minus 10 to strike and blast cards, increases his card draw speed by level 1, reduces damage received by 35. Holy crap, that's huge. This used to be 20%, but now it's 35, and his defenses are near 190k. That is ridiculous. He will be a tanking monster with this right here. I'm not fond of time-gated passives like this one here, just because I don't know, we have such a crazy fast-paced meta, and for units to have, you know, their full potential locked away at 25 timer counts, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. I think it's kind of goofy. If you really had to do it, I mean, make it short. It's pretty clear what they try to do. It's like, you know, switch the style of the unit, because he's all about building up towards getting a hard-hitting finish. Because, you know, in the show, he had to gather the energy for it to power up, and they kind of translated that in having your opponent have to swap out a lot and the permanent ultimate damage buff. But I get it. You want to stay true to the show, but when it comes to the real meta where you're fighting, it doesn't really have much of a place. So, okay. That's pretty cool. I would prefer this be reduced, but otherwise, really damn good. He's going to be a tanking beast from this alone. Second unique, reduces damage received by 7% per Dragon Ball you possess. Does he want this guy? Does he want this guy to just not die? 49% from this alone, 35% from this. He's basically going to be taking what, minus 84% damage? At that point, he's not going to die at all. That's ridiculous. Why would you don't need a Rising Rush anymore. You're not going to die. 190k both defenses, minus 84% damage received. You won the game. He's the best unit in the game, 100%. And I'm all for it. Receive 0 damage when changing cover, twice only. Okay. I mean, at this point, are you ever going to take damage? Why would you ever switch out away from this dude? He doesn't take any damage. While this character is on the battlefield, the following effects are applied to self when enemy switches characters. You restore ki by 20, 30% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Wait, what? Cannot be cancelled, but there's 20 timer counts. What's going on here? Is it permanent or does it go away? Why do we have Schrodinger's damage inflicted passive? I'm going to go with cannot be cancelled because that makes it more OP. 15% to ultimate damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled, gain 1 Dragon Ball. Pretty damn good. The kit is already OP as hell. Like this right here, restoring ki, extra damage, this defensive punishing kit is what makes Android 18 and Broly so strong. So you gave a guy that has minus 84% to damage received, ridiculously high stats, the ability to punish for your opponent playing defensive. You pretty much won. You need 2 Rising Rushes, maybe even 3 Rising Rushes to kill this dude. What would the unique be at Zenkai 3? Resolve for the final battle. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, restore 20 ki. Restore 1 health by 10% activates twice, plus 59% to ki recovery for 20 timer counts. Inflict enemy with attribute downgrade, plus 10 to strike and blast arts cost for 10 timer counts. Effects reset after switch out. So not only does LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku basically take no damage, but he's going to come out there steroid injected, beating the crap out of you, and you're not even going to be able to hit him with a lot of cards because everything costs too much. Wow. So not only can he take punishment, you can't give him any punishment. Automatically Z+++ tier right here. He's broken. Already broken. We got another unique too. His unique at Zenkai 6. Mr. Satan's Help. Plus 30% to damage inflicted per battle member alive. Plus 40% to vanish cage recovery when character Vegeta or Hercule are battle members. Shorten sub count by 7 when combo ends on another battle member 3 times only. Plus 30% to damage inflicted to tag powerful opponent. He's broken. He's absolutely broken. I love how he tied in Vegeta and Hercule to this though, because again, tying into what happened in the show. All the 59%, all the cool, you know, Mr. Satan having relevance here, the vanish gauge, the 7 for this, you know, 7 Dragon Balls. That was important for the fight. I love all of this. I love how there's a little bit of extra thought tying into sort of the genuineness of the moment of the show. I like that. OP as hell, but I still like it. And then let's see what his decision was. What made you decide to make the character the way you made it? To make it more swag-alicious? What role do you see the character in their teams, and how do they fit the current and potential future better you see? The swag of the team. I tried to balance him out a bit so when I personally face him, I don't have a bad time. What? When you face him, you're having a bad time, dude. You're gonna have a super bad time. Everyone's gonna have a bad time. The game's gonna have a bad time. Everyone. It's over. Even Toshi's gonna have a bad time, because at that point, the game is done. How do you make a character better than this dude? He can't take any damage. He will give you every ounce of damage, and you can't even punish him because everything costs too damn much. This guy is like, I don't know, this is like the Incredible Hulk at peak rage going up against a toddler. It's impossible. No damage is going to be done. He's a beast. He's an absolute monster. Honestly, how do I even tinker something like this? He's broken. I would have to tone it down, but I don't want to tone it down. I need him to be. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't want him to be this broken. This is absolutely absurdly powerful. If we had to make things more realistic, this would probably stay. I don't see it going this high though. They're probably still going to time gate this because they did it to Scout or Vegeta. I could see this. This is cool. He needed higher damage inflicted passives. I don't see them doing this. This is not going to be a thing. I would love for them to play on the idea of having Dragon Balls translating to something, but this is just way too damn high. Even if you're giving up a Rising Rush, you won't need it. You're not going to die to anything at this rate. 2 cover changes, I could see, you know, main ability potentially giving you another one, because, you know, Green Android 21, Instant Transmission Goku, they have that kind of thing. This, I could see getting a buff as well, restoring ki. Damage inflicted not going this high though. His stats are stupid high, and with his already damage inflicted passive and I think it's 15% as it stands right now, it would not take much for him to ramp up to like a high ceiling of damage. Plus, he has a platinum equipment. I'm trying to rush this so I don't take too much time, but overall, this would make him absolutely Z tier, even if we were to slash away all the additional reduced damage received passives. So you made him very strong, my friend. Your objective was to balance him out and not face him when you know, not to have a bad time when you face him, but mission failed. We'll get him next time. I'm going to carry it off to the next content creator, so until next time, guys, see ya.
Hey guys, so my pick for the fan-made Super Saiyan 3 Zenkai Goku LF, so many names, sort of fan-made thing here is going to be this one, SSJ3 Nasir, hope I said that right. So let's go ahead and compare him to the already existing Super Saiyan 3 Goku that we have in the game, obviously pre-Zenkai, so that we can see what exactly he's changing here. So Zenkai ability, he's going with Green Saiyans, which I do think is pretty likely. It's either going to be that, or it's either going to be Sun Family, right? It's Green Saiyans or Green Sun Family. That's the only thing it's going to be. It's not going to be Green Super Saiyan 3, right? So new stats maxed out, health at 2.5, strike attack at 249, 290. Yeah, these look about right. Again, I don't think he's going to be as strong as Gohan stat-wise, because that was like ridiculous. Gohan is like 300k blast attack, 265k strike, and like pretty much 190k to both defense. I don't think they're going to go that crazy with this guy at all, but something like this definitely does seem plausible. And then this will also depend on how buffed up he gives his he does for his uniques as well. So main ability is going to be draw the large card Spirit Bomb, restores on health by 40%, key by 30. So that goes from 30% and 20 key. Yeah, 40% health restoration is a lot. Keep in mind, there are definitely going to be ways to augment that as well. You have the Yellow Vegeta who came out, who's also healing whenever he switches out. You have equips that are healing. I know his unique equip has health restoration bonuses on there as well. And then other equips that also have health restoration and stuff like that. So this is going to be a lot of healing. 30 key definitely makes sense to me though. Nullifies own unfavorable element factor for 7 counts. So prior to Zenkai it was 3. Okay, so that's getting buffed by a lot. I could see that though. It makes you able to actually do a combo against the purple unit before you launch the ultimate. Okay. So regular strike, regular blast. The special move is now dealing massive damage, which I like. That's what I like to see. I think that's definitely likely that they'll do that. And then it still reduces key by 40, and then randomly destroys 2 enemy cards. I like that. This is sort of more of a disruption type of blue card, where it's not doing like, you're not getting like 50% damage done on activation, but it's just making it more annoying for your opponent to actually fight. So I think this does fit the theme, so I like this. The special skill we do know is able to be comboed now from the Twitter preview. So randomly destroys 2 enemy cards upon activation. Oh, draws 2 cards upon activation. Okay, interesting. And then counter will activate upon enemy strike or blast. Okay. Shows on key by 30 and randomly destroys 2 enemy cards and counter successfully, and then it combos obviously into these things because we already know that from the Twitter preview. So, okay, so number 1, I think this is fine, the drawing cards. I don't think they're going to make this activated on strike cards. That would be really ridiculous. This would just be a better version. Well, not a better. I wouldn't say better version, but like maybe a better version of like the Red Gogeta's green card. But I mean, what I could see them doing is maybe instead of doing strike arts, they could do blast arts and maybe tap blast attacks. That would make more sense to me than strike arts, because this would be ridiculous. Like, that would be absurd. Right now, this green card is like one of the worst green cards in the entire game, just bar none. It's really, really bad. It's like almost a waste of key, honestly. So hopefully they do this, and then they don't even have to do strike cards. They can just make it the same. Put this in there. As long as it combos, this is a very, very powerful green card. The ultimate is massive, 50%. So I don't think this is actually changing. Let me just make sure. So Super Spirit Bomb is just massive. Applies volume effects still upon activation, 50%. Yeah, it's basically the same, so it didn't change. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I don't think... did LF Gohan's change? I don't think it... I mean, LF Gohan's got nullification for endurance, but I don't know if the damage actually changed on it, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. Then the first unique, we can scroll up here. So 40% damage inflicted, and then applies the following effects itself once 40 counts have elapsed. So he's making it 60% damage inflicted. Okay, that's not a gigantic buff, but 60% is pretty good for one unique ability. Applies the following effects itself once 15 timer counts have elapsed. So he goes from 40 to 15. I don't know if it's going to be that steep. That's over half that they're getting rid of in terms of the requirements. 15 counts is almost nothing in a fight here. And then I see that this is all the same. No, actually 30% damage reduction. Yeah, it was 20%, goes to 30. Okay, I don't know if they're going to give him this big of a buff. I think 20 counts at the absolute most. I'm leaning more towards 25 or 30. 30 would be a little bit disappointing, I think, but if they want to make it 30, then I think something like this and this is warranted. But this card draw speed is the big gun that's being locked away by this requirement, right? So if they want to make this 15, like, this guy's going to be way better because of that, because of the card draw speed. Second unique ability, let's just see what it is before Zenkai. So it's 0 damage, so he has the cover rescue ability. Then he increases his sub count by +3, which makes sense. And then after the enemy switches characters, he gets 20% damage inflicted for 15 counts, and a permanent ultimate damage buff for 10%. And then he gets one Dragon Ball one time. So now He gets +2 to sub count. That's good. Means he takes less time to come back in. While this character on the battlefield, the following effects are applied to self when enemy switches characters. 30% damage inflicted for 20 counts. So that's just a straight up buff from this. Okay. That's a lot. Especially when you add that to this right here. And then he gets 20% ultimate damage inflicted, cannot be canceled, up to 60%. Is that worth it? I mean, okay, so he's capping it at 60%, but it's easier to get it ramped up faster. Interesting. I don't know if they would add a cap to that. I think if they, I more so see this becoming 15%, and then them not having a cap for it, and that's just it. And then lastly, he gets 1 Dragon Ball. Activates twice, so this goes up to 2 times. This is actually a very underrated ability, gaining 1 Dragon Ball. Like, it makes you get your Rising Rush way faster. And I think that's something that people don't really realize that often with this character. Alright, and then taking a look at the first Zenkai unique ability unlocked at Zenkai level 3. It is Not Bad Vegeta. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield if there is a character Vegeta battle member. Okay, so that's, again, it's a specific condition, but him being a green Saiyan buffer for Zenkai ability, him being a Saiyan buffer for a Z ability, I guess it's sort of making you more inclined to run him not on Sun Family, which I like a lot. I think this guy being oriented more towards the Saiyan team is definitely something that has a lot of merit to it. They don't want to keep pumping Sun Family with these units over and over and over again, especially Zenkai LF units. So any way that they can design these guys' unique abilities to sort of point them in a different direction and not always back to Sun Family, I think does have a lot of merit to it. So he gets 50% Ki recovery, cannot be cancelled, 40% of blast damage inflicted, and then reduces damage received by 25%. Okay, so obviously him being a Zenkai LF character means that he's going to be getting very high stats, so that reduces damage received by 25%. Typically, I would say I don't like the low damage received number, but I feel like with the stats this guy's going to be having, this is a fine amount. Like, this is going to be noticeable for sure. The Ki recovery, I think, is very underrated by a lot of people. On a lot of these units that have Ki recovery and their unique abilities, it definitely is overlooked by a lot of people, I think, in terms of how effective it actually is in battle. And then the fact that he gave him just specifically blast damage here, I think makes a lot of sense, because although this guy's probably also going to be doing pretty significant strike damage after his Zenkai comes out, based off of what we've seen with his kit here, he's still a blast-oriented unit, so blast makes more sense here. So this unique ability seems pretty good to me. And then the Zenkai 6 unique ability is Last Resort. 30% of damage inflicted against attack regeneration. That's good, because I think right now regen is probably a top 2 to 3 team in the game. You could argue it's number 1, honestly, and I wouldn't really say you're wrong. So I do like that. He also fights Kid Buu, so it makes sense. And then 10% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts every time this character uses a Blast Arts. That is very reminiscent of LF Gohan. It is very similar to LF Gohan. I think LF Gohan gets 20%, so I mean 10% makes sense because it's not going to be as broken, but that still is very powerful. And then applies the following effects to self when an allied character is defeated. Restores health by 15% once only. Okay, so again, more healing. This guy's a lot of healing. Reduces damage received by 20% again. So I guess this in combination with this, well, I guess technically it doesn't mean it's always going to be active, because this is only if there is a character Vegeta battle member. So if a Vegeta dies, I guess he loses... Well, no, because it can't be cancelled. Huh. So if you run him with a Vegeta, Vegeta dies, he's going to be at 45% damage reduction? What else does he have here? Because he also has reduces damage received by 30% for here. So hold on a second, because this is getting ridiculous. So 30% damage reduction after 15 counts have elapsed. Then he's getting another 25% if there's a character Vegeta battle member. So that's 55% damage reduction. And then if that Vegeta dies, or anyone dies, he's getting another 20%. So that's 75% damage reduction. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. What I could probably see happening is this gets removed, and this gets bumped down to 20%. I could see that. That would be still 50% damage reduction, which is a lot for just existing on the battlefield. But I don't see him getting 75%. That's a lot. Then he also cancels attribute downgrades under normal conditions. and then plus 20% of damage inflicted, so an extra 20% buff. Okay. I mean, yeah, I think this is a fine unique ability. Again, the Zenkai 6 unique ability typically is more impressive and more powerful than the Zenkai 3 one, which it is. I just don't think they're going to do this, because he already has way too much damage reduction. But other than that, it looks pretty good to me. What made you decide to make the character the way you made it? LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku was my first LF, and I started playing the game when he was just released. So he's one of my favorite units in the game. Also, his animations are really good, especially Legendary Finish. I definitely agree with that. It's definitely one of the better Legendary Finish animations in the game. What role do you see the character in this in their teams, and how do they fit the current and potential future meta you see? Since LF Red Super Saiyan 2 Gohan reign is too long, this character would be perfect to replace him as the best unit in the game, since he wasn't anywhere near the best when he was released. He could change the meta from Regeneration and Future to Saiyans. Definitely agree that Regeneration and Future are the two teams that you're sort of orienting your builds around to beat, because they're the two top dogs, I would say, and androids as well. But I mean, yeah, if you want to specifically make him the best, then I guess 75% damage reduction is what you would want to go for. But he seems like he would be an absolute monster. This is what they actually make him as. So let me know down below what you guys think about this iteration of his Zenkai. And with that, we will go ahead and move on to the next person.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Bebop in the 5-9 Gaming channel, and I'm gonna close out the fan-made Zenkai for the green LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This was tough, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we had 54 submissions, and out of them all, a lot were funny, a lot were just way overboard. Like unrealistic but funny in a way, you know what I mean? And I felt the need to pick, if anything, the most relatable and the most similar one. Obviously by now there are already confirmations already on the official Dragon Ball Legends Twitter about his Zenkai, kind of like a sneak peek to what is going to be appearing for his Zenkai as in terms of his kit. So I picked the one that he pretty much basically you know, got his information from, got his source from the official Twitter, but obviously amped it up to his own and you know, gave more, because obviously they only give us a snippet, right? So shout out to Nathan Solis. There were others that, you know, that was tough to pick, but I feel I had to just pick this one since we can actually compare it very similar to what was shown to us. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So pretty generic stuff, right, so far. Obviously their Zenkai ability is green, and with all that with all those, you know, 40%, 30% damage and defense, blah blah blah, you know what I mean. Okay, let's see, their defense is pretty high. Blast, obviously he's blast ranged. You know, this unit is not the worst in terms of offense or defense when he first came out, but you know, obviously over time it started to show that he lacked a lot of that. He needs a lot of light, right? So best way to do it, right, it's a Zenkai. So this, I feel, would give him more of that light that he needs. So good job on the on these numbers here, because this could go a long way, especially with his high blast already and the buffs that he's gonna receive, right? So obviously he's gonna be a scary ass person. I'm just gonna say that right now, because Sun family, right? So their new main ability. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna compare it to what we have now and to what you know, this guy has said for us. So okay, good luck Kakarot, draw the ultimate arts. Okay, restores health by 30 and ki by 40. So okay, so you increase the ki by 20. I like that. That feels more realistic, right? Nullify own unfavorable elements, excuse me, for 10 timer counts. Okay, that's a big difference. I feel like if anything they'll make it to 5 timer counts, but I like that too, that you increase the time. Okay, gain attribute upgrade minus 100%. I can see that a lot. Right now we have it at 50, right? And now we're having a lot of units now in the meta that are entering that ignore a lot of damage, right? It's been like that since the dawn of time in Legends. So and of course they're getting stronger, the Zenkais, so really huge there, and this can make a huge difference, right? And for 30 timer counts, right? I like that a lot. You know, it's obviously the same timer count, but I like this a lot. It's a big difference, and it shows. Okay, moving on to their art cards. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff that I liked on his. He described the massive impact, and then he wanted the Kamehameha to give vanishing gauge, right, by 50% upon activation. Really cool stuff there, because right now his special, it only reduces enemy ki by 40, right? It doesn't have anything extra. But if they gave him that, that'd make him a force to reckon with. I like this a lot. I don't think it'll happen, and I'll, you know, throughout the course of the video, I'll be honest about things, but I like it. I like this. I feel like I wouldn't even complain about it so much. It would be annoying, but hey, you know, if you want to apply the pressure, right, in the game, you gotta do a little tweaking, and I feel like I wouldn't even complain. A lot of people probably would, but hey, if that's what makes you guys summon for this guy or pull, or, you know, try to Zenkai this guy, yeah, that's big right there. I like this a lot. The enemy ki by 60 is huge. Yeah, so obviously now we're going into the special skill, and obviously the most anticipated. So everybody and their mothers have wanted this green card to combo, and now we have it, right? Official confirmation, right? Really good stuff here that I'm seeing. Big difference though he added is the tap blast, which I also want. I've said this for the longest as well, and I feel like a lot of people wouldn't complain and would agree too, because right now he doesn't have that, right? Counter will activate blah 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 for just blast art, for blast arts. If you have tap blast for people who want to bait you out, now this is gonna impose a lot of pressure. This is already enough pressure as it is. Just activating this, right, is a lot of pressure, but now you can't even bait him out, right? So if you do that, you're pretty much done. Look, now he can combo with any and all cards, destroy your cards, draws a special move. Oh man, you really want him to just nuke. Like, this already is just gonna destroy. I like this a lot. I don't think honestly they'll do this, but hey, if they do, wow, that is a big wow. Okay, so ultimate arts, super spirit bomb deals massive explode. So same thing, massive. Let's see, 50% ultimate damage. Okay, so nothing has changed there, and honestly I had to reread this 3 times because I'm like, dude, like, what changed? But I just noticed that you added this, which is pretty cool. Pretty simple. You know, that's not something people need to worry about, especially now in the meta. But like characters like Bojack, or maybe potential future characters that, you know, like Bojack will nullify your ultimate, right? Obviously for a consequence though, like it'll have some kind of consequence. Like for instance, Bojack, when he switches in and he nullifies your ult, that person he switched out for takes damage, right? So obviously when they released Vegito Blue, he had this as well, and that was a game changer, right? So the fact that you want this to be implemented as well with this character is pretty interesting, and I like that a lot. I feel like we need to see more of that, right? All right, how would their first unique change? Okay, so 50% damage inflicted when battle begins. So let's go up here. All right, this is his thing. So you went from 40 to 50. Interesting. Okay, for 30 timer counts. Okay, so obviously I feel like, okay, so you went from 40 timer counts to 30. Interesting. I feel like this is interesting because obviously he's doing a little more damage, so that means he's gonna have more pressure to get the job done, right? With 30 timer counts. I don't think that they'll do that, because when it comes to Zenkai, right, they're gonna increase the unit, and they're not gonna in any way, shape, or form make it so like he has less of something, right? Like a character, they won't give them less of anything. If anything, this will remain the same, right? But I like that though, that you added that, because I feel like this Goku, the way you're kind of like, I read it all obviously, but the way, and I'll get into it later, the way you kind of describe this Zenkai makes him feel like a hit and runner kind of unit, and I like that a lot, and I'll get more into that later. But really good stuff though that I'm seeing. Reduces damage received by 20, and you have it to 30. Okay, so very minor things that could, you know, very simple things, right, but could make all the difference. Okay, how would you change your second unique? All right, so obviously his instant transmission when he cover changes. All right, +2, +3. I could see that. Very, very huge. It may not seem huge to a lot of people, but a whole second is a big game changer. You have no idea that one game, you just need that one extra second. Right there it is. I feel like that could happen. Okay, 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, +15 to ultimate damage cannot be canceled. So pretty standard stuff, right? You went from 15 to 20 timer counts, same damage, but you went from 10 to 15% damage to ultimate damage, right? Pretty good stuff, right? All right, now we get into a little deeper Zenkai territory. Now we have just hang in there a little while longer for his Z3 unique. So applies the following effects to self every time another battle member is hit with an enemy strike or blast art. I like this a lot, and it makes a lot of perfect sense given its true nature to the anime episode. You know, so whenever a unit is attacking your ally, you're getting this Goku is going to get essentially buffed up, right, to 50%. That's the max cap, and it cannot be canceled. I like this a lot. Shorten substitution count by 1. I'm assuming you mean obviously he shortens his sub count by 1 every time they're attacked, so that's pretty strong. I feel like they won't do that because I feel personally it kind of clashes with this. They don't want a unit to just come in and out at their liking, you know what I mean? But hey, if they do, and honestly I wouldn't even be super upset about it, but that's gonna be very crazy. Like, just this one little sentence could be a game changer, right? And especially if this guy is he's obviously gonna be run on Sun Family, so the last thing we want now is to be facing these kind of units, right, who can just come in at their liking whenever they want and to sponge all your damage. That's huge. And a lot of people won't consider that huge, but to me that's huge, right? Because now we have infinite swapping, right? So that's a big game changer for me. I like that a lot though. Okay, Z6. I hope you're reborn as someone good this time. Okay, I like that. I like the quote. Following effects occur when battle starts for 30 timer counts. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, he's like a hit and run kind of unit. You gotta do your damage fast. 50% key recovery, reduces damage by 20. Okay, so it's not very offensive, right? It's more defensive, and key recovery, I feel it's like you know, it's just key recovery, right? But it's huge, right? Because you know you need your key. But the fact that I don't know how I feel personally about key recovery, because this team already has that already, you know, just swapping in and out already gains them key. But I like it because, you know, you want that fast recovery. So I'm indifferent about this. If this wasn't there, honestly, it'll be okay, right? It's not the end of the world. Nullifies own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. So yeah, that's already been confirmed. Then you added restores ki by 40 and 30% to damage inflicted when this character enters the battlefield. So he has to be in and out, and I like this. You know, he doesn't feel like he's a last man standing unit. To me, the impression I got from this is you gotta dish out your damage fast. You gotta do it quick. You know, and he's not gonna be the most reliable last man standing. You know, because he kind of relies more on his allies, which makes sense because of the Spirit Bomb, right? Like the whole theme behind the Spirit Bomb is relying on the people of Earth / his allies to help him out, so give him more time. So, you know, I like this a lot. Without them, obviously, he's not gonna do the Spirit Bomb. He's not gonna dish out the damage, so he needs his allies to live, right? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way, but he's very, very strong. Just a lot of pressure on his own there. This is what you said. Okay, balance his kit of some of the info. Okay, cool. Yep. He'll definitely be a staple on Saiyans and Sun Family. Yeah, I agree. The only thing that I don't like, and I'm gonna be very honest, is if anything, you made it very very strict to Sun Family / Saiyans. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because obviously that's what's gonna happen, right? This is obviously what everyone's gonna do, and I wouldn't blame you. You know, you're gonna put them on the strongest team. You're gonna put them on a strong team. Saiyans are a strong team, but Sun family is already one of the best, if not the best, right? If anything, the only things that I would change out of your uniques are just to simply add a tag where he inflicts more damage and tanks more damage to regen, you know, because regen is predominantly right now rising up and going rampant, especially with all the Zenkai now and the new units that are coming out for them. That I feel I would add. And another thing I feel I would add is to have him have a unique where he fits in with Vegeta, especially the new one, but any Vegeta obviously. So you know, because it kind of fits the whole theme. Because I actually saw I think Rai is gonna speak about it in his, you know, in his part. I think one of the people mentioned Hercule and Vegeta, right? Like, that's fun, but that gives it variety, right? It would just give him more options to explore on other teams. Like, you could run a Saiyan team with just Vegeta, or Vegeta family with Goku, right? Like, who cares, right? Because it's Zenkai, so you could just do that now, right? Just imagine purple Vegeta, right? Purple God Vegeta. And this guy and you know, Goku, right, when he gets Zenkai, like, that he's gonna get death buffs, he's gonna swap in and out, he's gonna receive, you know, all these he's gonna receive health, ki, like, more damage, more attribute downgrades. Like, he's gonna be very strong. I feel if they gave him that tag to where you should run him on with Vegeta, not just strictly Sun family. So that's the only minor change I would make for this unit. I don't think he should be overly busted. I think he needs to just be well-rounded and balanced, but that's up to Legends to decide, right? But anyway, thank you again to Nathan Solis. Shout out to you for this fan-made Zenkai. I really like it. It's very it feels very normal and neutral, right? You know, it feels very fair. But anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for submitting all of these. Of course, you know, these are fun to read. I'm gonna try to be more apparent on 5.9. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoyed everyone's response, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video overall. Make sure you give a like on this video and subscribe. Follow us on the official Twitter. The Twitter will be in the description below. So for more updates, if you want to submit more of yours, or if you're new at this, if you want to submit your own version of this, you know, follow us on Twitter and we'll give you the sheets whenever they're available. So yeah, guys, hope you guys have a good one. Have an awesome day. Be safe out there. And yeah, wash them hands. Bye.